What's up guys, this is Bangalore Productions, and in today's video I'm going to be going over pack setup for a 48-hour patrol. Nothing special for the mission or what you'll be doing, just what I would carry for 48 hours if I was going out with the boys training. So 2 days, we're going out and patrolling to a specific location. We're conducting some sort of operation. Maybe it's an ambush, maybe it's reconnaissance, maybe the whole point of the patrol is just to test out our gear and see how everything's working. Or maybe we're just doing a scouting patrol, so we don't need too much crazy reconnaissance type gear. We're just moving out for 48 hours. We are loading stuff as we go, and then we're coming back to base. So with that being said, we'll start off with the rifle and go from there. So for my rifle, same exact rifle as always. I just recently put my dope cards on my stock, and then I zip tied and duct taped a Surefire scout light to my rifle, so that way I have a light and I can see because I do not have nods. So moving on. So with the chest rig, this is the Spirited Systems Thing 3 with the Lunar Concepts harness, and then the Mark V placard, sack pouch, a Amazon Gista because I'm not paying $75 for a real one, which is weird because I paid a bunch of money for the real other stuff. But anyway, does the same thing. I've had 2 fake ones from Amazon before. The reason I say I had is because I sold one of them, and the other one, it's currently packed away, but I wanted a black one to match the chest rig. One of them I took to Norway and it held up amazingly fine. Nothing happened with it, nothing went wrong. And the other one, same situation, took it out plenty of times in the field, just couldn't use multicam anymore. So had to get rid of it, and that's why I packed away. So, placard, 3 rifle magazines, one's covered up. In the event that I lose these 2 magazines, I have one that is permanently secured, and it's gonna take a lot to get that rifle magazine out of that pouch. So, sack pouch, IFAK, same as always, tourniquet, and in the front little pouch I have camo compact, so my camo makeup. Just a pouch. Radio can be replaced for rifle mag, but I'd rather carry the radio right there, so if we do proper dispersion, or if we have more guys in the back, I can talk to the relay from the front to the back a lot easier than having to talk loud. And then a multi-tool inside the Gista, smoke grenades, compass, and a lighter, and some duct tape, and then my protractor, all my mapping gear, and then this is something that I'm going to tell you guys about. Basically, this is your sector sketch that you don't have to run out of paper and ruin your paper. You can have this, it's just a grid paper, and it's laminated, so you can make your sector sketch on this, and then when you're done with it, wipe it off, and you can reuse this and don't have to go through all your paper. Neat little trick my buddy showed me, so there's that. More knife. This is not my fighting knife, this is more like a survival type knife. It's nice, I like it. Then, like I said, 3 rifle mags, and then on my right side I have just an Alvine and the little Condor pouch. Say what you will, most Condor and like other Amazon gear has been used in more countries around the world and by United States military personnel, and it's held up just fine. Or any other country, literally. Not that big of a deal. If you're that concerned about it, weirdo, just try it out yourself. So that's the rig. Pants pockets, same as always, tourniquet up front. And on my left side, survival kit. I have a 10 on the way to put this inside of a 10, so it's not just another little dry bag, and it will be better that way. Gaiters, protect myself from all the bull crap that you might find out in the woods. And then my same boots that I always wear, my Vans MTEs. One thing I wanted to mention, while I'm wearing a t-shirt, not a blouse or a combat shirt, well, if it's really hot outside like it is, like it has been since summer, with a t-shirt on, I have this big pack on my back, this big chest rig on my front. All my body heat's gonna get trapped. And if I'm wearing a blouse, that makes me more likely to be a heat case. But if I'm wearing a t-shirt, heat case, same situation in the wintertime. you're not going to wear a blouse or a heavy jacket. You're most likely just going to wear your thermal base layer, and that's it. So that way you don't heat case or overheat. So moving on to the pack. This is a Molly 2 rucksack that I have dyed and spray painted, so it's not ACU. Cheaper to do that than to buy a crazy expensive pack. If I wanted to change the frame out later on, I can, but I'm fine with this frame. It's what I'm used to, and that's what I know. So on top, got a cover hood. It's secured by just a little neck clip run through the back of the straps, so I can just unclip that, and then a bungee run over the front just to make sure everything's nice and secure. So same old cover hood, different. And then, so starting off on the front, got the USMC assault pouch that I have dyed basically OD green with stove and fuel tabs, all that kind of stuff. Water filtration bag with the filter, air panel, and then a small little sewing kit, because you never know when you're going to need that. If you guys don't know how to sew, it's a really good thing to know how to do. In the event that you, I don't know, rip a huge hole in your trousers and you're going to be out there for 2 more days and you don't want bugs flying up in your crotch, you can sew it up. Other things you can use for it too. On this side bag, I just have a bandolier with 4 rifle mags in it. Obviously they're empty right now, but these would be filled up. Nope, sorry, I'm filled up. These would be filled up, and that's where they stay, in that side pouch. Over here on the right one, this is just another Army pouch ACU that's been dyed and spray painted. It's got my solar panel for charging all of my equipment that requires or can be charged. So there's that. Like if you guys are running ATAC or whatever system, you can use that. Rainfly, cover my pack, and bug spray, because where I live in a swamp, and bug spray is excellent and amazing to have. And then on the hip belt on both sides, just have an Algene and a canteen, so easily accessible water. And then let's get to the inside. Blouse to put on when I get to where I'm going, so I'm not moving the pack anymore. Quick kit and 2-quart canteen. And then I have a day's worth of dry food and a day's worth of wet food. Why do you need both? And should you carry both? Or what's better, one or the other? So MREs weigh a lot. They're really, really heavy because they're a bunch of just water in the pouches, essentially. And then these are really, really light because they're freeze-dried food. But there's going to be times when you cannot boil water to put into these to eat them. But there will always be a time where you can tear one of these open and then just eat it. Like, it's so simple. That's why they're designed that way. You don't have to have any kind of heat source to be able to eat them. They're ready to go. But in the event that I am able to boil water, I want to be able to enjoy some nice warm food that tastes like real food. There I go, right there. There's my dry food. And then also I have all my snacks and all that kind of stuff in this pouch as well. So 3 days of wet food plus snacks, and then 3 days of dry food. Or not 3 days, excuse me. 1 day of each. Dry bag with 3 pairs of socks. They're wool, so they dry quick, and they keep the water off of your, they absorb to the outside, so it keeps the water off of your feet, keep them dry. I will mention probably one other thing you want to pack, which I don't have in here, is an extra pair of soles, because if your feet get wet, and you change your, instead of having to just change your socks and put them back in the wet boots, you change your soles, at least the bottom of your feet will be dry, which is more important than the top. If the top of your feet are wet, whatever, you're not going to get trench foot. But if the bottom of your feet are wet, your feet are going to turn into cheese graters. So, that's just a good idea. I don't have that in here, but that's one thing that I'm going to add. Isomat, obviously on the bottom, it's got that bungee, so when I undo my pack straps, I don't use my isomat. And then underneath, in the sleeping bag case, guess what I have? Jungle blanket into a dry bag. right there, super thin blanket, very comfy. Like I said, it's super hot. If I even use this, it's up in the air, but I'm gonna have it just in case I need it. And then my poncho, so I can wear this if it's raining, or I can turn this into a tarp and an overhead cover. And most likely, that's how I'm gonna sleep. Just a tarp tied to a tree, and then my ice on that, and I'll be good. So that's what I carry in my ruck. So that's obviously just a very basic loadout. You know, nothing insane that you're carrying. But if you, I don't know, it's up to whatever your SOPs are. If you're by yourself, if you're in a group, you know, what does everybody else carry? Like, are you carrying a belt fed? Are you carrying a bolt gun and your rifle? Like, what do you have? What kind of special equipment do you carry? A spotting scope? Do you carry a bipod, a tripod? You know, that's also going to play into how your pack's set up. So this is just a very basic for a GP rifleman. This is what I carry. Like, I'm not going to go and have to carry a bolt gun with all this, or belt fed. You know, so, I mean, obviously we don't have access to rocket launchers and stuff like that, so I don't have to even worry about that. But if you do, and that's what you carry one of those, then that's awesome. And there's different ways, just from my time in the Marine Corps, that you can carry that. So I'm sure you can find a video on how to do that. So this is just a, like I said, very basic pack setup, kind of just ideas for you to go off of. So when you're designing your pack for what you carry, you have your bases covered, and then you can add on from there to what else you want to carry. If you carry a spotting scope, if you carry, you know, a drone, it's one thing nowadays that you have to kind of decide if you're going to use one of those or not. And if you are, you know how you're going to pack it into this pack. Because I have my pack packed very small, but this can be, I can add on a lot to it. It's just, like I said, it's really hot outside, so I don't have a need for a bunch of extra stuff. What I have in this pack is enough to get me from point A to point B extremely fast. So that's just what I carry, and whatever you carry is up to you. If you're carrying anything else, I'd like to know what else you guys carry. I'd like to know how you set up your packs, and if your setups are any different than mine, or if they're pretty similar, if your setup's better, if your setup's worse, if you guys even have packs, you know, like, this is stuff we need to be thinking about. It's really nice and dandy to have, you know, the nicest plate carrier and the nicest rifle build and, you know, all the nice stuff. But if we're not having a decent pack setup that can carry all of our extra equipment we need to survive, then what's the point in having that nice plate carrier, you know, those nods, or anything else, if you're just gonna die on the way there because you can't boil water, or can't purify water, or anything else. So just things to think about, things to keep in mind. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I really appreciate you watching the video. If you have any questions, any concerns, just as always, talk about it in the comments. I want to hear your guys' thoughts, and I want to hear what you guys think about and your thought processes for your setups and what you do different. Or if there's anything that I missed that you think I should have in my pack, you know, aside from the soles and like rifle cleaning gear, which I honestly think that's in my belt kit right now, so I could just take that out, throw it in my Gisto, throw it. It's got plenty of space in this water bottle pouch or my pack and the assault pouch. So anyway, guys, that is my pack for patrolling. This is my chest rig for patrolling. Almost forgot, Kevlar. So just a bump helmet, because I don't need a Kevlar helmet, because the rifle rounds anyway straight through it anyway. That's just my thought process. Do what you will with that. If you want to wear a Kevlar, by all means wear it. But most Kevlars aren't rated for falling or getting something hit on the head, aside from obviously the shrapnel and all that, which these are not rated for. So if that were to happen, I'd die, but I don't think that's a threat I'm gonna have to face. Mostly this is just gonna be for, you know, a natural disaster happens or something. I'm obviously not gonna have this scram and all that on here, take that off, and then I'm ready to go, and my head's protected, and I can go start saving people in my community. That's also why I have this opposed to a Kevlar, because the likelihood of me using this for a tactical scenario is very low. The likelihood of me using this for hurricane recovery or for cutting down trees, you know, I want to be able to keep my head protected and also look cool doing it. That's what this is for. So I also just have a little strobe back here and Peltors for ear pro, and the same old night vision mount just for the aesthetics, I guess, because I don't have nods. But we do in the team, just I don't have them personally. So yeah, so that's the setup. That's everything that I carry for 48-hour patrol, plus or minus, depending. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and tell me what you guys would carry, and if you guys would carry the same thing. Anyway, have a good one.